Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I think it is very important to make sure the audio is on, that we go through what happened today with AMC Stock, what's going to be happening tomorrow, some of the false data that you are seeing out there, and false rumors, just to be quite honest, that we are seeing that really need to be debunked here in this video. Now, I'm not going to be the one to tell you guys to do something specific. Do what you guys would like to do. I will share kind of my thinking around what we're going through as well here in this video. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. I want to hear all of you guys commenting. What do you think about this situation so far? So first things first, tomorrow is going to be the conversion of APE into AMC. Now let me tell you right now, this should be a non-event. There should be nothing that comes out of this. If anything, this could be bullish due to the simple fact this arbitrage situation is done, right? It's over with. That could be bullish in and of itself. And what I said in the last video is these back-to-back 20% drops, this is unparalleled. You're not going to see this all too often, at least we haven't recently, in companies that are going bankrupt, in companies that have terrible earnings, that their CEO did some fraud, right? There's very few instances that a stock will drop 20% back to back to back to back, but AMC has been doing that. I think it highlights the sheer degree of manipulation that is currently happening with AMC, that has been happening with AMC. So that's important, and I want to point that out. All manipulation must come to an end, especially if the company is not going bankrupt. And that's why a lot of those bankrupt companies, you do tend to see some very large rallies. Now, point in being, this situation is over with. So APE dropped 18% today, another 1% in after hours currently. AMC stock dropped 26.68%, down another 2% in after hours currently. When you get a bounce, it is going to be explosive, okay? You are back basically to the same levels you were at before the June rally. So you have lost all of the June rally's gains, literally all of them. And I think it's quite fascinating that people were so excited and enthusiastic to buy AMC after the 35% drop that we seen back here. This was on August 14th. And then people actually bought the stock from the lows for the next 4 trading days were very, very positive. So why, right? And then why sell off the stock over 20% every single day for the past 4 trading days in a row? I think you could boil it down to manipulation. I think that would definitely not be a bad conclusion. You could also say the fact that the last 2 days we have not had options trading, that could also be having a negative impact on AMC, because a lot of the bullish buying pressure that we get, besides just you guys buying AMC stock, is leveraged buys with the options. And we've seen more of that recently. We've also seen more puts being bought recently. But when you shut down the options market, that can completely end a rally, or that can make downside more likely. And you guys know kind of how it is with other stocks, other points in history. I'm not going to go through all of them. 2021 was a big one where brokerages would just stop trading the options. And what would happen? The stocks would fall. So that's part of, I think, what has been going on the last couple of days or so. Now, the way that I am specifically looking at this, and before we run through the data, the rumors, and everything you need to know, I really want to get this out there. My personal opinion is you're a lot more de-risked now than you were just a couple of days ago. Meaning that if you think a short squeeze is coming and you think that shorts will have to cover on their short positions, I mean, at this point, are they going to? I think is even a better question. Are they going to ride this thing for years until it's bankrupt? Who knows? But ultimately, shorts do need to cover. And what we do know is cost to borrow fees have been ridiculously high, that even though, this is a crazy concept, even though AMC stock has dropped about 20% every single day for the last 4 days, a lot of these hedge funds and institutions are still down on their positions when you factor in the cost to borrow fees and the average days out on loan for these short positions, being about 135 days, it's not a good scenario for the hedge funds and institutions still, for a vast majority of them that got into this arbitrage trade when it was announced. So with that being said, what I expect from here is a sharp bounce when that bounce does occur. I think the markets are getting way too jumpy as well, thinking that AMC is going to dilute shareholders right away. That's not going to happen. Why? Because AMC stock has dropped 20% the last 4 days. Now, there is going to be an overarching kind of, theory per se that AMC will dilute at some point in the future. And that is true, but they're not going to dilute when the stock is very low. So I think what this means, if you're someone that is buying shares at these levels, you can get a massive average down on your position. This would be like a week ago, AMC stock trading at $1.40. You're not going to sit here and tell me the stock's not going to bounce and it's just going to keep falling. I won't accept that. Anything's possible, but I just won't accept that theory. You're, 50% lower than your bottom that you just seen back here on August 14th. It's August 24th, guys. 10 days have went by. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trading days. And AMC stock is 50% lower than the bottom of the 35% drop that we seen on August 14th. That's crazy. And when you really think about it like that, it's not going to take a lot to cause a massive bounce in AMC stock. One statement from Adam Aron or AMC. One, decent catalyst would definitely do it. Or just an oversold bounce in general. The RSI is oversold. The last time you were this oversold was back here in January of 2022. And you kind of bounced up. You came back down, hit a low, bounced off of almost 30 on the RSI. And then you rallied from now our split adjusted pricing of $13 per share to about $35 per share. So a very aggressive bounce. And when that bounce does come, you could see a really big bounce. We're talking $10, $20 plus here. That's not even to mention if shorts start to cover on short positions. So the bottom line is, over the last couple of days, you have seen some massive shorting activity in AMC stock. That is a certainty. Like, there is no way possible that AMC has fallen multiple days in a row, 20%, and you have not seen massive shorting. So shorts still have to cover. The arbitrage trade is done. What else is there to do if you're a short? Unless this is really an egotistical battle and you are seeing this thing out until AMC goes bankrupt, which looks highly unlikely right now. So hopefully you guys are catching my drift here. You've already fallen so much, you almost have to see a bounce soon. And I think if you can get some options on this, that could be really nice. Now, I don't recommend anyone trades options. I don't recommend you do anything that I say. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a financial planner. This is not personalized financial advice. This is, as I said, what I plan to do. What I plan to do is when options start trading, I am going to buy, can I say, a fuck ton of options, of calls. I'm not going to go for the next week or two's expiration. I'm going to go out. I'm probably going to go to the 2024, mid-2024, 2025 options. I may buy a couple short-term options. But when you do get a bounce, those options will juice quite a bit. And for me, I'm down a lot on my AMC position, okay? Let's be honest. Most of us are. So for me, if I can take a leveraged bet after seeing a 4-day 20+% decline, I think that is a risk worth taking. And I think some of those leveraged bets could return thousands of percents if the bounce to which I expect actually does happen. And then it's going to make that share loss look a lot smaller. Now, I don't recommend anyone do this. Do not do this. You could lose all of your money in the options. You could still be down on your AMC shares, right? It's just not something most people should do. But for someone like me that has been in the markets for a long time, it's not a bad strategy given the stock has fallen so much. It's kind of like buying Meta options back when Meta was under $100 per share. It seemed stupid at the time. It seemed like a stupid idea, a lot of Wall Street would say, to buy some $100 calls or $150, $170, $200 calls on Meta. Look at those things today. each call would be worth over $10,000 a piece, and you probably could have got those at 30 cents a piece or less when Meta was at under $100 per share. So $30 into 10,000, you know, those are some of the returns that you can get when stocks just get decimated for no good reason. In all reality, let's be honest here, in all reality, nothing has happened, okay? We have not seen dilution. We had a reverse split. Yeah, that's true. We're seeing a conversion with APE and AMC, but nothing has actually happened. Think about this. Nothing's happened. We haven't got any dilution. Well, a little bit of dilution, I guess, from the conversion of APE and AMC, but not real dilution of adding more shares. Just nothing has happened. This is a lot of fear, a lot of panic, a lot of potential opportunity for you guys that take advantage of it. Now, do whatever you guys would please. This is simply the way that I am looking at this. So I do expect a sharp bounce relatively soon. It wouldn't surprise me if we see a bounce before the options open, just so market makers can kind of get those options juiced so they don't give them to you at such a low price. But still, nonetheless, that's what I plan to do. Now, AMC stock, it says estimated short interest off free float at 17.28%. This number is not true. It's the reverse split that is messing up Ortex's estimates. I don't know how long it's going to be messed up, but take a look. It says return shares of 15.35 million and borrowed shares of 0 today. That's just not what has been happening. It's calculating the return shares by the flow actually falling. So keep that in mind. If anyone out there says AMC short interest is 17%, that's not true. I think the short interest is 35 to 45% solidly. I don't think it's going to come in less than that at the next exchange reported short interest date. Now, AMC stock is still on the threshold securities list, as we have went over many times already, and the cost to borrow fees are not registering since we have now seen this reverse split. But I still imagine they're about 1,000%. Yesterday's numbers, cost to borrow average was about 773%. Cost to borrow max 1,055%. Cost to borrow minimum yesterday was at about 1,000% as well. Now it's saying the cost to borrow max and cost to borrow minimum is 8.59%. It must be a default for Ortex. These are not real actual numbers here, guys. So you kind of got to take all of this with a big grain of salt. Short score of 89, $278.64 million worth of short positions in AMC stock. Estimated short interest off free float at 24.3%. See, this is not reflecting the same numbers that we're seeing from the live short interest. So kind of weird what's going on here. But nonetheless, it'll take some time for these things to even out and to get some actual numbers being accurate over here. Free flow out on loan at 38.54%. 19.9 million shares currently out on loan. Days to cover 5.03. Cost to borrow 367.93%, and 100% share utilization. If we take a look at AMC's FTD number, as we went over in the last video, there is still a lot of FTDs that come due today, or that came due today, that will come due tomorrow as well. For August 24th, which is today, you are seeing about 11.9 million FTDs that come due, and then you're going to be looking at about 12.1 million FTDs that come due tomorrow. And then next week, for the next couple of weeks, you're going to see 7-8 million FTDs or more almost every single day. So very high numbers that will need to be closed out of, as well as that, like I said in the last video with the Stonko tracker data. Obviously, numbers are not updated here, but last we knew there was almost 1 million puts that were in the money and about 750,000 calls that were out the money. A lot of calls recently were in the money and went out of the money, and a lot of puts went into the money that were previously out of the money. Both of those are forms of selling pressure on AMC, and the fact that we don't have the options market open right now, you can't really counteract that at all. It's just what was there, and that's having what I would imagine an effect on the market makers having to go out and short a bunch of shares of AMC. But these 4% or these 4 days of 20% or more drops, something very big is happening out there with AMC, and I do think it sets us up for a sharp bounce back. So those are my opinions. Now, as far as what's actually happening on the day, the durable goods orders came out really bad today. This is really what's affecting the broader markets. Durable goods orders came in at negative 5.2%. You were expecting 0.5% on a month-over-month basis. Last month's reading was positive 4.4%. So a lot more of those recession fears actually kicking in. And then there's a lot of jitters heading into Fed Jerome Powell tomorrow. Fed Jerome Powell is going to speak at 10:05 a.m. And we're kind of expecting some hawkishness from the Fed. And you can even see this reflected in the Fed futures market, where now 19% is the probability of a rate hike in September. This was previously around 11 to 12%. So it is up, 7-8% here on the day today. And now markets are not expecting the first rate cut until May 1st. Of 2024, when we were previously expecting the first rate cut in March of 2024. So the Fed's going to have a big role to play in markets' expectations of Fed policy. It could drive bond yields up even higher. As you are seeing today, they are going higher, and this could be a negative for our markets. 10-year Treasury at the time of recording this video is 4.24%. That is up 4 basis points on the day today. And the 2-year Treasury, which is very sensitive to interest rate policy from the Fed, is at 5.023%. That is up about 7 basis points here on the day today. So these are the big events that happened today that affected the markets. Markets were pretty rough across the board, as you can even see, still falling a little bit here in after hours as well. A lot of stocks did not do well. AMD, Tesla, even Nvidia really fell from its lows. The NASDAQ fell 2.14%. A colossal drop on the NASDAQ itself, and even down 0.25% here in after hours as well. So could be setting up for a very volatile next couple of weeks. And I think this is also something I would say that is not having a huge positive effect on AMC stock today, considering we just had the reverse split, considering we were coming off of negativity, kind of those that 1 or 2 initial 20% drop, and now you're getting all of this fear in the markets, potentially more of that tomorrow. Not a good outcome, or not. Looks like it hasn't had a great outcome to AMC stock, guys. So that is going to go ahead and do it for this video. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.